And what is it happening? What are some of the new inventions? What are some of the new things that are going on, current stuff that you can do possible research? Anytime there's a current or a breakthrough, it means there's something you can do. And most especially also, you need a research team. And possibly if you don't have a research team, you can join from Google Scholar, you can join from ResearchGate, you can follow researchers from IEEE Explorer and any possible source. And in the midst of all this, you need the research tools. And the tools that we are talking about will be some of the possible softwares, applications. You need MATLAB or Python, LaTeX, or overlays, SPSS. I think those in social sciences will require SPSS. And these are some of the things you will need. So let's move on. I think I told you my presentation will be fast and short. All right, the second part of today's presentation is about research skills. It's very important. Every research you do, or every research that you want to embark on, is a learnable. I mean, you can learn it. Research is a strategy, and every strategy is skills that you can learn. And I have a very nice quote, because most people, when they see a research, they think it's too difficult. And I want to tell you that it's possible, you can do it. So our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. I believe everybody can do a research, but sometimes we put in a lot of fear than our faith. So believing with Marianne Williamson, we can adjust our thinking from today that it is only our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. So we proceed on. Under the research skills also, we have to divide it into the section which falls into the program for today, which is research segments. Now, when you have the skills, you can't just do it in a vacuum. It should happen within a certain frame, and the frames are what I have drawn over there, like this figure. First, you should know if you want to download any paper, just like as I have as a restrictive figure, you should know what you want to download, and you should know how you want to download it, and you should know where you're supposed to download it, and what goes with your research idea, because you can't just go online and begin to download anything. For instance, as an engineering student, I can't just go online and begin to downloading things in social sciences, of which I have virtually no idea. It's not going to work. And anything you want to download, the possible question you should ask yourself, does it worth it? Does it worth your time to research on? That is the research importance. And if you want to download, you can't just look through the sky and say, papers come down. No, there should be a possible places. So you either refer to academic sites or journals. So these are where you can do your downloads. So I will briefly explain the respective sections, what, how, and where, as follows. First and foremost, we start from what to download. Ideally, before you can download anything, like as I said earlier on, you should have a possible idea in mind. That is, you should get a researchable interest, which I am trying to refer to. Be specific in choosing the research areas. You should be specific in choosing research areas. What I mean is that know what you want to do and have in mind the concept, or even if you don't know anything, know the area you want to do the research. For instance, my side, I am doing the IoT. So, and IoT cut across so many things. So I chose energy efficiency section, which means that everything that I'm going to do will be based on energy efficiency. I can't just mangle things up and maybe I'm doing energy efficiency now. Very soon I'm doing security in IoT. And the next time I'm doing, let's say, privacy in IoT. I mean, I'm messing things up. So I should be specific or more focused. And how do I do that? First and foremost, you read past papers. It's very important. It's very, very important. There is a saying that you build your castle in air. But the truth is that build a foundation first before you build the castle in air. Know the kind of the areas you want to go, have the basis. And the second aspect is that you now come into, because you have the foundation, which is the past papers, you can come into the current trends and learn or read what is going on between, in the current dispensation. So the next step is that after reading the past papers and the current trends, you can ask relevant questions. Very important, because it is a question. If you ask a good question, you get a good answer. If you ask a bad question, I don't doubt you are going to get a bad answer. So you ask a relevant question, which simply means that you analyze the area you want to do your research. And that's very, very important. Now, this is what I will refer to what to download. Now, let's see where to download. There are so many sites or many possible places that you can do your download. And I'm still repeating myself. You need the research interest. If you have the research interest, you go, these are the possible places you can do your download, either Google, Google Scholar, Springer, IEEE Explorer, Wheeler, Science.hub, and others. Or you can take it from textbooks and journal. Or most of the times also you can go for conferences and know what is going on, and you can follow them up. So I will give some examples of how to download or where to download. Sorry, this is the interface of IEEE site. All right, now in the IEEE site like this, we have advanced search. So within this period, this dialog box, or I would say this particular frame, you enter the keywords, the technical term. For instance, if I want to do something about energy efficiency, I will enter energy efficiency. And works people, researchers have done on energy efficiency will all come down. And to give us a illustrative purposes, I entered optimal resource allocation in IoT networks. And the results was 375 papers. And when you enter in the IEEE section of this nature, it tells you the number of journals that people have published papers in that field, and conferences and other magazines and earlier articles, and all of them will pop up. And there is one side of it, whilst we are going on, you know. And you can also do it through Springer. The same thing, you enter the same thing here. You go to Springer Open, just Google, or is it Bing.com? You enter Springer Open. From here also, within the dialog box, it says search all Springer Open articles. You enter the key words here, and then the search will bring out a lot of papers. I think here we had 1,631 in the same area. So mostly you can enter in Explorer and also Springer about the same topic, because most people will prefer to publish in Springer, and others will also prefer publishing with IEEE journals. Okay, let's proceed. And here also, like, you can also do it in the normal way without going through the other process. You can use Bing or Google. You enter in that way. The same keywords, resource allocation optimization. And this will be the possible outcome. You can have a different papers published by some of these researchers. And any of these, you can go further by reading to know what actually it entails. Okay, we proceed on. Now, I would like to continue back to Explorer. You know, I'm more like interested in Explorer. You see, also, if you have a very good scholar or a publisher, sorry, a researcher, and you want to follow his work, you can enter his name in the same, for instance, this part. You can enter his name, and then you know the output of his work. Now, I think I did similar for myself. I entered my name and I got to know I have some small things over here. And let me take you through this particular frame. When you enter, when you enter in this way, you can look at the left side of, I'm talking about IEEE Explorer, you can look at the left side of it. You can choose, you can choose to analyze your paper from different angles. One, you can search for only a single year, let's say 2019, and all papers in that particular key term will come from 2019 or from that particular researcher. And you can also set a range. All right, the range from here is from 2019 to 2020, which simply means that the papers you get from this researcher, James, will fall within this. And you come to the topmost right of this search, you see sort by. You click this a drop down arrow here. You can find the newest first, the old papers, and everything here. You can see from that end. And this is a padlock or something here means that you have to get the access before you can read the full paper. You can only read the abstract. You can only read the abstract, but you can't read the full paper. All right, now the next one will be how to follow authors. I think I was just trying, pardon me for using myself, I was trying to use this as an example. If you want to follow author, like as I showed, I think, sorry. Yeah, here is James Aduansa. All right, so this picture will pop up. You go there once again, it will pop up. Now, you come under the picture of the author. You say, follow this author. So you click on this. Anytime this author publishes a paper, you will see a notification. All right, and here is more about a brief bio data of the author. It's about his affiliations and the publication topics and all the publications that this author has done falls within these particular topics. And from here is this publication. It tells you the number of publications, the right side of it, the number of publications, which stands to be 13. And we have publication years. It starts from 2018 to 2020. And these are the co-authors, a number of people that this author has published papers with. And you can read just as I said, you can read a brief introduction. These are not important anyway. Let's move on. Now, I would like to go to how to download. After getting all this information down, all right, there's a summary of what you want to do. First, I gave some simple illustrative diagram that first you should be focused. With it, I mean that you must be settled in mind. And if you are settled in mind, I want to do something under, let's say, in fact, I don't know anything about business, so let me take IoT. I want to do something under security. So my mindset is security. There's no deviation. Now you go into this prospective. I think I gave these possible places where you can download. All right, especially this particular site. Now you search for the keywords. The keywords was one of them I showed you, resource allocation. Or you could enter something. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes I will be there. Anything that comes into my mind, I will just search a keyword and something comes out. And before you download it, what you need to do is that you read the article first on the line. If possible, you read the article first on the line. Other than that, you download something, you go home, you ask yourself, why did I do this? And it will be a waste. And you read related articles. Under no circumstances, you'll be reading something, let's say energy efficiency, and you end up adding, let's say, I don't know, maybe something from social sciences. The articles that you are reading should be the same or relate. All right. And after having all this, you download the selected articles or papers. Very, very important. Those ones you sieved out. You look for the good ones and then you download. Okay. Now, I'll come to the final part. Like as I told you, I don't have to, I should be a man of few words. Emmanuel, please help me to charge my plug. This my battery is almost down. Oh, the unit stands so much. In fact, I have here with me some wonderful brothers, you know, PhD guys. Here.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hello.
Look, I said we lost him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've lost Mr. James.
Yeah, I think his battery is dead, so we just have to wait for him to charge it.
Maybe you reconnect. So I'll be entertaining you.
Yes, I think Chairman, you can take over.
Yeah, thank you. As we await him, I'm still on the question that I asked earlier on. On the Zotero, I don't know who has tried hands on the Zotero. What challenges did you encounter? How successful are you on the Zotero? Because some you were asked to download and then you were following. So I think after the lecture, some of you went and they tried hands on. Let me get your feedback. Or you are procrastinating that too. Miss Lee,
Yes. I
do you
was
have
doing part
something to share? You weren't part of that
of that meeting.
lecture.
Yeah, I want the browser that he is using. How can we download it? Because
You really love the maybe he's working in normally he works in latex.
something
He
explore.
works in latex. So I will ask him and see where you can get.
I click
That's
it
most
on.
of the things in latex. So yeah.
I couldn't get the interface or something like
Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah. You like the interface, right?
I clicked the same name online. I couldn't get the way he can type in, follow those stuff. I couldn't get it.
Okay. Maybe during question time you will have to
Okay.
take us through that. Mr. Ansri, please, are you online? Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
he's back.
yeah, he just joined.
Yes. So, Mr. Ansri, please, are you set? James. Mr. Ansri. Take over from you if you're set, Mr. Ansri.
Mr. Azra, we can't hear you. We can see that you're speaking, but we can't hear you. We still can't hear you. It's my network.
Yeah, it's a general issue. So
Oh, okay.
I think he needs to log out and log in
yeah,
again.
sure you connect with your speakers and others on. Maybe log out and reconnect.
Mr. Chairman, whilst he's
Yeah, okay.
logging
Yeah,
out and logging back in, I wanted to ask, but what if we have no use for it now? And how are we supposed to still keep it? I mean, some people are already, when you taught it, they needed it, but some of us, we may need it next year. So what do we do about that?
in when this software packages, when you postpone, the more you postponed, the greater the chances that you might forget. You go down, it's like you know nothing at all. Even those who are good programmers, they'll tell you that if they stop for some time, when they go, it becomes very difficult. So immediately you are taught, you have to just go back and put it to practice. And the more you try putting it to practice, the more you better your understanding. So for me, my advice is that whatever you learn here, begin. If it's about research idea, you start putting your ideas together, start doing start
practice how to do your searches, how to be downloading and all that, so that when you get there, it's not going to be a new thing altogether. It seems Mr. Ansari is back online. Hello, Mr. Ansari, please, are you okay? Hello? James, you started sharing your screen, so I don't know. Please, are you available?
Chairman.
Hello, Prof.
Chairman.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, Mr. Ansari, just log out and reconnect if you're okay. Yeah, thank you.
Chairman, please, there's a question I want to ask.
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
The papers that we are writing, when we go back to Ghana, please, what will we use it for?
Yeah, thank you. So far as it's an academic requirement, for me, I'm not restricting myself to, I'm looking at solution that is in Africa. Like all my papers mostly are a problem in Africa that I want to solve. All of you might not get that same opportunity because my supervisor told me to come out with my own topic, and I'm just right. But some of you are given certain, research area that you are not even confident, you have not heard of it, and the application will even be almost zero when you get back, Ghana or Africa. So far as is an academic requirement that you have to meet, also make sure that you also have at the back of your mind the relevance, whenever you move out. Sometimes you even go and the equipment, the lab to even do that kind of research. Immediately you leave the four walls of China, and that is all. Or you leave these advanced countries, that will be all. Yeah, you can't put it into any meaningful use. So they are advanced, and most of the things that we are doing are not applicable in our country. So let's be learning the rudiment as to how we be able to implement this in a miniature form, when we get form. Otherwise, our research is just helping others to develop, and Africa is always lagging. People have this misconception that we will never get there, but we will get there. It's going to take time. The systems are not as we.
Amen.
Don't let us always relegate and our countries and our Africa to the back. People have made a point they are not even going because they think that Africa has nothing to offer them.
Hello.
But there is this popular adage in, yeah, please take over. Thank you.
Okay. I'll go back to my screen once again and a moment. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Ansel, do you still have the technical challenge? Hello? Oh.
Mr. Chairman, someone is asking about the adage that he was
Yeah,
saying.
I'll communicate it later. And yeah, it's, I don't know. James? Hello, James. Hello, Mr. Ansel. Hello? Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
You're audible, and your screen is showing, so you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now, the final part, and I'm surprised that at the final part that we want to end, we ended prematurely. So I'll go over the final part, which is the third part. Like I said earlier on, if you do all that we have discussed briefly and without having any results, it becomes not a research. So you should show some excellency, the output. And I fall in love with this from Pastor Otaba. He said, you are designed for excellency. Do not settle for a lifestyle of mediocrity. Very important. So under all these stuff that you have done, let's see, I'll take myself as an example. And by following I'll call it the rules, these are some of the little achievement I have so far. And the first paper, this is not the first paper anyway, so I think this is the recent or something. I'm not too sure, but one of the papers is, and they are published in IEEE Internet of Things journal. And I think within the Internet of Things, this is the highest journal, the topmost among the Internet of Things. And the journal one that follows this, the second one follows the same thing. And the third one is Elsevier, Internet of Things. I think these are the three current papers. They're supposed to be 5, I don't know. Okay, and 2019 also Internet of Things. And one journal of which the next paper was published was also in the transaction on vehicular technology. And another also accepted, I think they gave notification beginning of the month, but I don't know when they will publish it. It's also on transaction mobile on mobile computing. Sorry. And it follows. So these are, and comes into the conference part. I think it's 13 comes into the conference part, and they also follows small. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your attention, and I believe I have not confused anybody. I would like to pause here, and we also have this consult and by my senior brother also at KUST and a friend at the University College of Dublin in Ireland, myself and my junior brother. We have this, and these are the further information. And I'm glad to tell you that we face neither east nor west. We face forward ever, backwards never. Thank you for having me. I'm proud of all of you. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to end here for further questions and answers.
Yeah, thank you so much. Although we have technical challenges, but they've been resolved. So the MCs, please, you take over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ansuri, for the wonderful presentation. Please, if you have any questions you would like to ask him, please can you just address it to him? He's here for your questions. So any kind of question on how to do anything, please let's just raise your hand, then you'll be called out and then you can ask your question. Miss Lee, no question.
Oh, I checked the browser he's student, I think. So.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please, any questions from anybody, please?
Yeah, I think I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
The speaker who just spoke, like, thank you very much for your presentation, but I don't know if I can get any of his contacts to link up with him, to have some discussion with him, if it's possible.
Mr. James.
I think that he posted the email.
I think
the group there, so, and you can also get.
For my contact, I don't remember my phone number. I must be honest. So, Jingo, I'm sorry. Jingo will help you to reach out to me with my WeChat contact, and possibly you can send me a mail through this.
Which one?
The first one, James.
James.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
but if you need phone number, Ajingo will help you with that one. Unfortunately, I can't remember that.
Okay, Mr. Jingo, we are waiting for you.
Yeah, I posted my question. I don't know whether the host it's been seen by.
Can you read out, because I'm having some
So,
Yeah.
I don't know
Mr.
if you
Ajman,
can.
your question came to me, so I'll read it out to everyone.
Okay.
So the question is, how do I read a paper? What components should I look out for? That's the question.
Okay. I will tackle it from this particular side. I gave a very simple scenario here. All right, you have these segments, and I said, have an idea in mind. Don't just have a blank mind. For instance, I wanted to read IoT, things under IoT, and IoT is a broad section, but in the research, you always need to narrow yourself. All right, so I chose energy efficiency. All right, the moment you choose one section, go down, go deeper, you read. And how do you read it? To get the very good idea, start reading the abstract of papers, abstract, and possibly conclusion. Because if you read the abstract, you know the general concept of the paper, and the conclusion tells you what they have done. All right, so answer. The line has jumped once again. Let me give you the details and then you enter from your end. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, the line went once again. And like I said, you should read the abstract and conclusion. And most especially, if you want to have a broad knowledge about any field, read review papers under that field. Because those ones, they consider a lot of things, very important areas. So you can read to know at least a bit sections of each part of that particular field. So if you want to read a paper, I think this will be the basic way. Personally, these are some of the things I do. I try to read the abstract and conclusion. And let me give you I did not explain the rule 15 very well. Let me take this as an opportunity and then brief you about that. For instance, if you take the R3, the 3R5, it's 3 months. What it means is that you take 1 month, all right, to do, let's say, a general reading, 1 week for abstract, 1 week for introduction, 1 week for related works, and 1 week for the methodology. And then you come again another a month, you do likewise. But the more you keep reading, it becomes very interesting to you. So you adapt the scenarios. And in fact, the application is I would say, not difficult or whatsoever. Application is the very challenging side. Simply, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, the application is the very challenging side, because at the end of reading a paper, 1 paper for 2 months, it means that the next month you should be able to put something down. It just call it a draft, not a complete paper. A draft, then you can still go back anytime. All right. So that's what I can say for now. Mr. Ajima.
Please, do we have any
Yeah.
other questions? Anybody who has a question should please ask. We have 8 more minutes, then we have to move on to the next session. So please, if you have a question, it's now or maybe later.
No, let's settle the scores here.
Yes.
Yes, maybe later I'll be
When I
quite
was talking
engaged.
about the PDF you using, and then the interface. The person is in love with the interface and all. So he's asking how can he or she access? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I will give it to Kobe. You know, Kobe is in Nanjing. He will distribute everything to you. So, or maybe afterwards you send me a mail, I will forward it to you.
You can upload it on this platform.
Okay, fine.
It's not that
Sure.
size, yeah.
Sure.
You can upload it.
I can surely do
Just
that.
go to where the chat section is in.
Sure.
You
I
can
will-
just upload the file.
No, I don't have a problem with that. I can do that.
Oh.
Okay.
Please, no other question. Yes, Governor.
No other question. I'm still waiting for Mr. Jingo.
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of time, and I'll give you.
Okay, so Mr. Ajman, you
Yes,
can just
yes.
send the contact to him privately.
Yeah, you can hook up. Just add me on one of the platforms.
Okay. What's your alias there? Still a Jingo.
Yeah, it's adjective.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, in case the other campus, Journey, I don't know, Jana campus or something, you can see Kobe. I think he is there. He's a friend and a brother, you know. So we possibly, I think I do see him often. He used to be on our campus, but they moved to the other.
Okay, so if there are no questions, Chair, please can we move on?
Thank you so much. I think that I also make maybe the PDF of his presentation available to members later. So we can, as I told the audience, we had a challenge with the other speakers. So we are going to maintain only one room. So we will take the next presentation. Thank you. In fact, it was circumstances beyond any of us our control. It's a very delicate situation. We planned it very well, but unfortunately, our hands are tied. Yeah, thank you.
Chair, someone is insisting on your adage, you know.
Oh, the adage. No, there is this. There are two adages that one was saying Achia Procra one you know, and the other one said yes, fire and Sabinkum and Yakura. So I mean in simple translation, I'll do the direct one. Is that no one will actually point to his or her household or his father's or his hometown with the left hand, and the other one is that even if you have rotten teeth, that is the same place or more or less that is where you also you always enjoy from. So the long and short of it is that irrespective of how bad Africa is or Ghana is, we know if you are irrespective of whatever happens, you definitely will go there. You know, you get all the money, all the fame, but the recognition is when they ask where are you from, you definitely will point to Ghana or Africa, or they see you and they will even formulate there and say that you are from that land. So in all our things, let's have Africa at the back of our minds. It might not be our time if God doesn't come now. Then if the future is there. The nations that you see, China was not built in a day. They had their own challenges, even worse than we are facing in Africa. US and co, all the European, they all went through their bad or their dark days. And just as some of them were rapid, others took time. So we had challenges, and I think that we the youth have a problem, and the leadership also have a problem. We can't put all the problems on our leadership. We also have a role, to play. So that is basically what I wanted, to say. Don't neglect African Ghana, and that once you leave, you are never going back. Yeah, thank you. No system is 100% efficient. So maybe you take over, Derek.
All right. Thank you. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe that you know my face, so if you don't see my face, it's okay, right?
Please, it's not okay. We want to see your lovely face. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Oh, dear. All right, so thank you so much. Good evening to all of us. Mr. Chair, I salute you especially for the good job you have done. I know that it's not been easy. And to all of us, let me just say that since it's just one room, I am more social science inclined, specifically economics, but I will try to, with the data sources, try to touch on other areas respective to the social sciences field. Yeah, so I was tasked by the Honorable Chairman to present on data sources, the harvesting and curation. And I think that the word harvest and curation is not or are not new to us. Almost everyone on the platform can just talk to us about what harvesting is. So I will quickly ask one of the co-MCs, Mr. Fred, to just tell us what's the meaning of harvest. And then the other honorable co-MC, Madam Ella, will also tell us what's the meaning of curation. What do you understand by it, And then we can proceed. So, is it ladies first, or maybe today we'll break the protocol, gentlemen first?
Yes, we gentlemen first. Thank you.
Okay, right. So since harvesting is the first word here, Honorable Fred, can you just do us the honor? What do you understand by harvest?
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can.
Okay, so my simple explanation to harvesting might be reaping or yielding.
Yeah, reaping, to reap. Good. I will buy that one. Okay, so Star Ella.
Yes, boss.
To cure.
Boss, please, are you looking for the meaning of the word cure or curation?
Any of them goes. Curation is okay. I mean, curation is from the word cure, so it's okay.
Okay, to cure something is to make well. And I know that cure is something that makes you well.
Okay.
So,
All right.
curation,
So, thank you. And the next 30 seconds, audiences, please, do you have any idea, anything to share with us about the meanings of harvesting and curation? I just want you, the audience, to just talk to us before we go delving in. Since
Hello.
Yes, hello.
So concerning the harvest. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, please. We can hear you.
Yeah, so I'm from an agric background. So concerning the harvest, say with dia soa which
Nice
that's the
one.
harvest.
Good. I hope every one of us here would understand that.
Pacho, minty tree, minty tree, minty tree.
That is a lie.
Now can you see the pigeon?
Pacho, I big tree, minty tree.
Okay. All right. So, and then curation. Any other person from the audiences to share on curation? I will not talk on the, I will not give any definition. I just want it to come from us. So, well, I think we can proceed. So it's basically as we have shared. Now, I was just asking myself before this presentation. So before we go into practically the data sources, and let me just say this, you should get your computer in front of you. Okay, I'm going to share some of the links so that we can do it in a more practical way. As I go to the sources where we can gather some of the data from, you would follow suit and also be able to get access to the data. Sorry. So make sure that you get your computer, because this is more practical, right? We want to have the impact, the effect, rather than to listen and just go empty-handed. So I was just asking myself, what's the meaning of data in the first place? Research data. When we talk about research data, what's the meaning? Because I know that we just have to acquaint ourselves with what it means before we just, before we go a step further to look at where we can get the data from in the first place. So now, research data is an information. We have a lot of information out there, right? So resource data in itself is also information. And then it is something that you collect and you make observations, you observe it, generated. I think generated is just kind of related to collecting, but it is that generated or you create it by yourself. And the most important thing is that it gives the validation to your research findings, the research works. That is why sometimes you can write a paper, sometimes you can come up with a research, a manuscript, and the reviewers will tell you that they will question some of the source of the data or some of the variables that you used. Because if there is a question mark about a variable that you used, then it means that your whole findings cannot be trusted. So research data actually gives the necessary validation to the work that you have done. It allows people to accept that, yes, we can actually rely on the findings of this particular work. So as Mr. James shared, he has written a couple of papers, and all his papers were done on the backdrop of data. So if the data he used were questionable, the paper wouldn't have been able to get to that, pass through the top journal. So we have to understand the importance of research data. That is why I just decided to hammer on the word validate, because if not, then your work cannot be trusted. I believe that we are not just interested in writing the paper, but we are interested in solving problems. And once again, our chair made mention of the fact that all the topics that he's choosing, he chooses the topic on the basis of the problems in the country, in Ghana, or he chooses the topic with a view of mind that he wants to solve a problem in Ghana. So in order for his findings not to be questioned, he would have to ensure that the data he's using is an accurate data, is impeccable, it's trustworthy, it can be trusted. Yeah, so that is research data for you. Now I decided to share with us these 4 types of research data from this source, DeWitt Wallace Library, and they talk about these 4 types of data. Now, the first is observational data. You can as well call it the primary data. And this is usually through surveys or through observations of the behaviors of people. So you can design questionnaires to look at how people, maybe let's take marketing. You want to look at what people consider before they buy a product. So you can design questionnaires to that effect, send out the surveys, and as the surveys go out, people begin to, give comment on it. They begin to answer, and based on the answers you get from the survey, you can use it to make a conclusion. So that's also accepted. So these are observational data. And then those of us who are more interested in lab work, some of the things that we do in the lab, maybe we might not consider it as data, but today you've been able to learn. There are also data in itself, because you carry out a research, you come up with a finding, it becomes a source of data for another person to rely on to test if he or she can maybe get similar results, or can be able to add something to it to get another result. So the experimental works that we do in the laboratories are also data, can also be considered as data. And much more recently, because we are in the IT world, we cannot talk about data without making mention of simulations. And those of us in the social sciences, especially in economics, you might have heard about CGE models or GTAP models. It's basically used in doing simulations about maybe trade data or investment data between countries, right? So GTAP, for instance, can be used to do simulations. Simulations are kind of, you are predicting based on the real life experiences over time. So I can use the current data of Ghana's trade, for instance, with maybe China, to make a prediction that if something happens, what will be the effect of Ghana's trade with China maybe in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So that is simulation, and it's also data in itself, because it's able to give you something, an information to rely on. And like we pointed out, data itself is information. And last but not least, that's basically what we are going to focus on tonight, is derived or compiled data. Other people also would call it the secondary data. Okay, so the secondary data is the data that has been already gathered, perhaps through field works or observations or surveys, and they've been able to they've been compiled together on a specific site or a specific place where you can go download it, get the data, and then use it to do your empirical research works. So maybe this evening we are going to focus more about the derived or compiled data, and then we will see. So data harvesting. I think we made mention, a lot of us were talking about, sowing and reaping. I like it from my brother who is from the agricultural field. Data harvesting, it is just as we said. So it's just a process of, extracting or collecting data from a source, especially, like I said, our focus is on the secondary data, but even if it is primary observational data, you are still going to collect it based on the behaviors of people or from people. So that is still harvesting. Now let's look at this. This could be sort of, excuse me. Okay, yeah. So this, for instance, is, let's say, it's a hub, where the data is stored. So, and let's take this to be different variables. So all these variables are in a composite form within this hub or this house. So we can go and extract the data. We can go and take the data from this house. Okay, so that is the harvesting. It's like what the brother said, you've planted, it's grown, and you are going to plug it or, take out the yields. So that is simply the harvesting. And maybe today we are going to try to harvest some sort of data from some sources, and then we are going to try to put those data together by curing them to be able to be easily acceptable by whatever, software package you are going to use. So curation, what is curation then? There are some keywords that I would want us to pay attention to. It's more about organizing the data. Okay, so you take data from, let's say you take data from different sources, or even if it is one source, like from World Bank database, for instance. After you've collected that data, you just have to organize them in a way that will be easily acceptable by the by the package. Or yes, and or integration. The integration usually comes in if you collected the data from different sources. So it could be this: you collect data from World Bank data source, you collect some from UNCTAD, UN Conference on Trade and Development, you collect some from OECD statistics, you collect some from Global Data Lab, a lot of data sources, right? So you collect them and you just have to come and put them together to be able to enhance or facilitate whatever research that you are going to do. So that's also about curation. And then curation does not stop there. Um, it's also kind of, after you have done all these things, you don't stop there. It could be a process where you keep actively adding up data, and you can be building your own sort of data lab, right? So you are kind of actively building and managing your own data. So that is also curation. So you collect another data from a different source, you can come and add it and all that, so that later on, if you need any data, you could have it in maybe an Excel file or CSV file that can be accepted by these research software packages for your research analysis. So as we can gladly see on this photograph, we have data from a lot of sources, and you are sieving them nicely to one source. Okay. So that's the curation. And this one I just put here, I saw that this usually comes in when you want to do primary data curation, right? So after you have conceptualized the data, you have created and gone out for your data, you receive the data, you try to examine the data, that is the appraisal form. So maybe after you collected all those data, for instance, sometimes if I want to use the data about maybe the gross per capita formation of a country, I can collect it. I can take the overall data or maybe the rate. Sometimes they look at the rate of the data on the GDP or a particular variable on GDP. So that if I collect these two variables, since they are the same, right? But some is just, one of them is just the rate on the GDP of the country. Why do I do so? I try to collect these two data so that if there are a lot of missing values in one, I can just take it off and then replace it with the other. But that is my appraisal and selection process. So you examine the data and then you try to select which one you would need. And then the ingestion comes in by injecting it in the form, maybe Excel file nicely, and preservation action. That's like the curation form. You preserve and manage the data by storing it, and you'll be able to access the data, use it, and continue using it. That is use and reuse. And if the need be that you want to transform your data by maybe the years have gone ahead, you want to take some of the years out, replace it with a new year, that's also acceptable. Or maybe 2000, we are in 2000, so there's 2019 data available. So you get to 2021, maybe 2020 data becomes available, you want to add it up, it goes through the transformation process. So yes, that's just about the data curation. But once again, there's one field I'm not going to touch today. It's about data management life cycle. Maybe you can try to work around it yourself, try to look at the processes it entails. Please, MCs, please do time me. I'm pleading with you.
Okay, boss.
We are already
So,
on that, boss.
okay, thank you. So we are here. There are a lot of data sources. I have to admit that there are a lot of them, but today I try to put only 14. I'm not going to go through all the 14. Basically, for the sake of time, because I have about 40 minutes for the presentation, I think. So I'm just going to take us through maybe two of them, but more importantly, one. And then the other ones, I can share the PPT or the links with you, and then you can try to look at it yourself. Yeah. So these links I just put there, I direct. You just go and the data is there. Yeah. So if you go to a database like the Penwell data, it's a composite data. So once you get to the link, the source, you can just give it a click and you download. It downloads the whole data in an Excel format for you. So it's unlike the World Bank data where you have to go and select your own variables and all that. So I think I'm going to share in the chat. Where is the chat? One of the I'm going to share. But today I just want us to look at the UN Comtrade database and more importantly, the World Bank database. I want us to look at the UN Comtrade database for a reason, because usually, let's say you are dealing with, you are conducting a research and you want a product specific database. So you want to look at China's trade data with Ghana on a product, maybe let's take cocoa. UN Comtrade database will actually give you, the database or yes, the data about cocoa, Ghana's trade with China on the specific product. So you can get product specific database on the UN Comtrade. So I just want to show us, some of us, especially those in the social sciences field that dealing with trade, for instance, where we can get, product specific data. And then for the sake of Miss Lee, yesterday, I think you asked this a certain question. You were talking about dealing with neoliberalism. I don't know. You said your professors, he is more into the socio-economic aspect of it. But if your personal publications, you want to deal with maybe the political aspect, political rights, civil liberties, I got a data for you. You can use the Freedom House database. I think it's a comprehensive data from about 1973 to date. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I put this one here for you. And those of us who are also more into institutional research works, you want to look at political factors, governance effectiveness, regulations, democracies, we can get data at the World Bank when we get there. So Ms. Lee, Freedom House will give you database on political rights and civil liberties about people in a country. So I just try to put this for you. And then also we have corruption perception index that tries to give us a source of data on corruption for a host of countries, I think over 200 countries. Yeah, and before we go to what we want to do, the practical aspect, I just want to make mention of the reasons why I put this data here so you can get it. And if your research is into the sustainable development goals, the UN sustainable development goals, no poverty, industry, innovation, infrastructure, education, all the sustainable UN development goals from goal 1 to the end, there data available on this site. You go to the global data lab, and this link specifically, there's the general global data lab that gives you data on country specific. And the joy is that sometimes you want regional data for specific indices, but this place, when you go, you can get maybe data for some regions, especially Ghana, for instance. You want data on the regions in Ghana, maybe human development index, wealth index. You can get data, region-based data, or regional data from this site, the Global Data Lab, that's the GDL. But the same place, you can also get this sub-national SDG database. So I intentionally put it there for those of us whose research interests are more inclined and tilting towards the sustainable development goals. You can also get your research there. But I think the other ones are more economic. This is World Integrated Trade, but it's about import and export database. And Ministry of Commerce, if you want to look at China's trade data with other countries, well, you can also find it there. So I go to this slide again. Now, I go to this slide again. I know that in China, most of us are having supervisors whose research interests are maybe about China and Africa, right? If your supervisor is like mine, who usually has a lot of research focus on Africa, China Africa Research Institutes will give you data on Chinese FDI to Africa, China's trade to Africa, China's foreign aid data to Africa. You can get all of them here. You just go there, you click it, it will give you the full Excel file on each of the data that you want. And then, yes, I think we know China's Statistical Bureau, yes, where you can also get data, a host of data on China, Chinese economy, China's relations with the rest of the world. You can also find a lot of data here. So now I would copy this link on the UN Comtrade. Okay, so I'll copy this link, UN Comtrade, and please, let's follow suit. You are all going to, after the presentation, 2 or 3 people are going to show us what they have also done. So you are going to follow, we are going to download the data together, we are going to do the curation together, and then when we finish, 2 people can also share their screen to show us that yes, indeed, they were able to collect the data, right? We want to get the impact of this webinar. So please, yes, access the link. You can also copy the link and let's do it together. I hope, I think now I should share my browser rather. Okay. Yes, you can see I have already opened it. A network, yes. Please, if you are on this site, say yes. Hello, please, am I being heard?
Yes, please.
Please, are we here? Especially those in the social sciences field.
Which site did you? The
Please,
one you sent.
Can you share the link?
Yes, I've shared the link in the chat box.
Comtrade.un.org.
Yes, please just copy the link and in your browser. Okay, so here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can see this part, right? Sorry, I have to ask. Yeah, you can see this right? They are having some technical challenges, but you may be able to see. Please, have some of us been able to get to this website?
Wait, too.
I'm waiting, please.
Yes, but the interface is different.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm coming. Let me get there. You are here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are here, you click on Get Data. Don't click on the arrow. If you click on the arrow, it will give you extract or something. So just go to Get Data. I just want to show you how to get maybe product-specific data. Yeah, so when you click on Get Data, you come here. Please, are we on the same page?
Yeah, we are there.
I think it's only one person.
Yes, please, we are there.
Okay, great. Yes, so we are here. This is goods. If you want data on services, fine, but I think mostly, so let's focus on the goods. And then the thing is here, you can choose up to 5 years, right? And it's already giving you the instructions here. So you can read, beneath the boxes, the instructions are there. But like I said, I just wanted to show us, maybe later on after, you can look at check product specific and you will see it for yourself. So let's say we need from 2015 to 2019 data. So, okay, first I take out this. So you can just take out a click here. If you click inside, it will give you the years, right? So let's say I want to choose year specific from 2015, you come back, choose 2016, come back, choose 2017, you do same to 2019. Please, are we there?
Almost.
Okay.
Okay, 2015.
As for the years, you can just choose maybe 2 or 3 years. Yes, if you think the network will slow us. I just decided to go for 5. So
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, please. We are here.
let me hear from the others as well. Please, are we there?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. Thank you. So now reporters is showing all. It means maybe all countries. But we want, maybe let's say we want to look at Ghana and China. So our reporter here is Ghana. Okay, so we can close first, we can close the all. If not, if you maintain the all and you choose Ghana, then it's going to give you the data for all and all countries and Ghana as well. But we want only Ghana. So let's go for here. Let's search for Ghana. You can just check Ghana. And then you have Ghana as a reporter. Please, shall we proceed? Good. Once again,
Yes,
if you maintain the world as partners, then it means that you are looking at Ghana's trade with the entire world, right? But we need only Ghana's trade with China on a specific product. So let's say we take out the world and we look for China. If you type China, it's going to give you, this is mainland China, and this is Hong Kong and Macau. Our interest is in mainland China, so just click on the first one. Shall we proceed, please?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Great. So we see here the trade flows. All you are seeing there encompasses, you just click inside, it encompasses all these things: import, export, re-import, re-export. Now the re-import and re-export is this. Maybe Ghana buys, we import something from China. Okay, we do something about it, and then we kind of maybe get it back to China, they do something about it and re-import the thing again. It's similar to the re-export. So if you want the data on all, both import, export, re-import, re-export, you can maintain the all. Okay, but let's say we need only the import and export. So import and export. I believe that we are there. Good. So we come here to the HS. The HS is showing, this is where we can find the list of the commodities, the type of products. So if we once
Hello,
again,
can you hear me?
yes, please.
Boston, me, I can't find a Ghana in my report, so.
Really? Please, is
Just
anyone?
type Jane. If you type Jane, you see the list of all J countries. You see Ghana there.
My sisters are my click is a mother.
Maybe
click at the empty space.
you are
Press
having the
Jane.
technical issue.
Jane,
Actually, they've issued
Jane
an
H,
information
whatever.
that there's some technical difficulties. So if you are not, it's strange.
Me refresh page number.
Okay. So thank you. Let's proceed. So once again, please, someone's background is giving us feedback. Okay. So this total, if we leave the total, it means that we are looking at all the products for China's trade and Ghana on all the products. But let's say we want to go for a specific product. Are you hearing me, please? Because I'm seeing my network is unstable. Please, are you
Yes,
hearing
please.
me?
It's on and off. It's okay.
So let's say we want to look for specific products. Okay, can someone come up with one of the products that we think Ghana has, one of the resources we think that Ghana usually trades in?
Good.
Cocoa.
Yam, Bayre.
Good. So please, we are working within time, so we have to go to World Bank. Yes, I'm just doing a briefing on those pages. The main we'll go to World Bank, where we are going to extract the data and try to cure. But this one I'm just trying to show you how you can find, product specific trade data. So you want maybe like gold, right? You can start typing gold. When you type gold, it will give you the list of all, products or all the things that has gold within. So you would have to take time to search which one specifically you are going for. And I think let's go for the gold compounds. So we click gold compounds. And let's say we want to also add another product like cocoa or cocoa beans. Once again, when you begin to type cocoa, because if you want to just click and look for it, you have to go through this lengthy list. So when you just type cocoa, this list comes again. All the things that have cocoa within will show up, right? So you would have to just go down to look for the cocoa beans that you are looking for. So we have cocoa beans here, whole or broken, raw or roasted. So I want this one. So I click it. Please, are we on the same page? Please, shall we proceed?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So having done that, you just click on Get Data. So you see this rolling on your, and then if you scroll down, you see the information there. Reporter Ghana, partner China, commodity code is here, the trade value. So in this year, 2015, our Ghana's export of, so the particular, without, you can check that is the cocoa beans and stuff. So that is this. This is the value. Now this data actually here is showing us that because all of them, we see the code is for cocoa beans. So which means that in this period, there was no trade between Ghana and China on the gold compounds. Maybe they traded in another type of gold product, but maybe not the gold compound. So we don't see it here. Okay, so that is that. If you want to extract this, you can download it in CSV format, and then there you go. So I think this is just by the way. I hope that at least you have been able to know where you can get product-specific trade data between two countries. I'm going to take us back to World Bank data, where we are going to also deal with some more data collection, or where we can really get the data for our research work. So once again, I'm going to share my PPT and copy the other link and put it in the chat box. Okay, so here I'll copy the first link. I'll try to share the link so that if some of us need any of them. So chat. Please, you can see the other link there on World Bank data. Please copy the link and let's follow suit in the same vein. So once again, share. Please, are you on this page?
No, wait.
Okay, I'm waiting, please. When you get
Yes,
there, you
please.
should let me know so that we continue, please.
Please, I'm there.
Okay, thank you. Good to hear from you. Let me hear from
you.
Okay, thank you. Good to hear from you, Agna. The rest?
Okay, I did.
Great. All right. So we realize that we can see world development indicators, statistical capacity indicators, education statistics, gender statistics, health and nutrition and population statistics. So there are a whole lot of data here. But first, just click on world development indicators. And I'm going to show you a place where you can access all this other data if you need any of them. So just click on world development indicators. And then you would see this. It's still loading. Are we there, please? If you are there, just say yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apply changes.
Good. So leave the apply changes. Just leave it there. Leave it. Now, you see the place where you see database. You can just click, yes, hello.
Has changed you.
What has changed, please?
More information than you have.
Yeah. Are you saying something?
There is this apply changes and it doesn't want to go unless I click on the apply changes.
No, you should just leave it and let's come to the left-hand side.
Can you see?
Please, are you all having the same page as mine where you see the apply changes, but it's faint? Because until you have selected these indicators like for country, series, and time, the apply changes will not be bolding for you to click it. So now it should be faint.
The left. Okay,
yes,
okay.
so come to the left-hand side.
Okay.
Now, at the left-hand side, I believe that since we are all on the same page, we are going to see database, we are going to see country, series, time. Now, the time is the years, right? The series has to do with the variables or the indicators themselves. And for country, yeah, these are the countries that we see there. There is a hand up. Okay, please, I'm hearing that. I'm told that there's a hand up. Please, somebody has something to say.
Mr. Stephen, his hand has been
Mr.
up
Stevens.
for a while.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes to 40 minutes.
Is it the chair?
Please go ahead. Go ahead, Inji.
No, it's
Okay.
not. It's not.
Mr.
It's not
Stephen,
yet.
Hohai.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Please, let's
It's
go ahead.
actually a
We are
mistake,
working
sorry.
within time because at least I want us to be able to download some data from here, try to look at how we can arrange the data for our research work. So,
Please, he says it's a mistake. So please go ahead.
All right. Thank you. So now we see the database here. The database here is actually where you can get a lot of the type of data you want. If you want data with respect to world development indicators, statistical indicators, a lot of them. So we'll go there to check some of the available database there. So where you see this arrow, that's pointing toward the right side. So just click on the arrow, it will drop down. Are we there, please?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So once you drop it down, you will see these things: world development indicators, you see statistical capacity indicator, gender statistic, health and nutrition, those who are into health and food stuffs and nutrition stuffs, doing business, you know, it looks at the registration processes it takes for a country to register people who want to do business, a lot of them. And here is Millennium Development Goals. This is International Development Association database, poverty and equity. So if you are researching more about poverty and maybe income inequalities, these are a lot of database. So you can just go through them, look at which one you really want to work with. right? And then just select it and then go on to the others. So worldwide bureaucracy indicates that there are just a host of them. Maybe you have not known all these, but today at least we've been able to see wealth accounts. There are a lot of the database, but for the sake of our time, Africa infrastructure, that's infrastructure on airports, Africa infrastructure on electricity. So it's just a lot of them, national data for Africa infrastructure. But we are just going to jump to the first part, the one that has been pre-selected, the world development indicators. Okay, so leave it there. I think that is where it should be if you have not clicked any other thing. So if you have clicked something else, please come back and click world development indicators. And having done that, just go back and click on the drop-down arrow. It will fold back. And then I want to now go and pick some countries. Let's say we need data, we want to work on Africa, or we need data for, if you like, you can choose only Ghana if you are trying to do some time series analysis. But if you are dealing with panel data, or you want to look, your research work is more panel data focused or cross-national data, you want to look at different countries, yes, you can pick a lot of countries. But because I want us to know how we are going to get the data arranged, I would prefer that we pick more than one country. So here you drop down again and you see that the list of countries will just show. You can drop down, it's in alphabetical order from A to Z. But then let me also mention this to us. You can quickly scroll down, deep down. And when you scroll down, you will see that there are some of the things here which are not country specific. You can see Caribbean small state. Actually, World Bank has been able to do this to help researchers. So if your research, maybe you want to look at sub-Saharan Africa as a composite body and not with respect to the individual countries in the sub-Saharan Africa, there's data here. You can just look for sub-Saharan Africa and then you just select it. So you can see sub-Saharan Africa here. Okay, in the same way, if you want South Asia data that has been compiled by the International Development Association and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that's IBRD, is also there. There are a lot of them. So which depends on which work you are doing. Okay, these data have been made available for you. But once again, we want to, even if your research work is about middle income countries, they are all here. Lower middle income countries, all of them are here. But for the sake of our work today, we just want to look at specific countries. So at least 5 or 10 of us can just be mentioning some of the countries that you want. Let's select them. Okay. So first person, which countries?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. Okay, so Afghanistan is number 1. You can see, so just check it. Okay. And you can see that the moment you check the country, at the place where you see country, you come to where, at this point, look at where my arrow is. If you can see my cursor is, you can see selected 1. So any country you select, the number it would increase to show you the number of selections that you have made. Okay, maybe you want to select all the countries here. You can just click this one and you select all the countries. If you want to get data for all the countries, you just use the select all button there and it will select for you. But let's deselect and then let's look at, go back. Let's look at Afghanistan. Wow, Freddie, I have 14 minutes. Okay, so if the time is up, please tell me so that wherever we are, we can end, okay? All right, so Afghanistan, please, which other country? Let's go on.
South Africa.
South Africa. So I don't want to keep scrolling down to S. I can just type South Africa here in the keywords, enter keyword, just say South Africa, and it will just get me there. Then click search. Okay, so I can see South Africa here. I check
you can
it.
also alphabet A, B, C, D up to Z.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Bahamas.
Bahamas. Okay, so Bahamas, let's go to Bahamas.
Switzerland.
Switzerland, okay. All right, so
Swaziland and access Switzerland.
Switzerland. Another person.
Canada.
Okay, please, let's follow suit. Let's be checking let's follow suit. Let's do it together. So Canada, we have it here. We have 5 selections made. Maybe 5 more can be okay. So, okay, it's okay. We can leave it at the 5. What?
Burundi.
Okay, good. Burundi can be our last one. So, yeah. Burundi. We have it here, Burundi. Okay, so we are done. After you are done with your country selection, just go back and then click the drop down, the arrow, and then it will fold back. And then now let's go to the series. Click on the series. I said the series is where you can find the indicators under the word development. So click on the series. Loading. Good. So this is where we find the indicators that we want: access to clean fuels, access to electricity, mobile subscribers. I mean, so let's look for some of the indicators and let's get, you can find GDP database, you know, GDP at current, at constant, the data available. But the issue is, I think after we download, we'll see it as, and then I'll talk about it. So can we also, as we did for the countries, maybe have a selection for the indicators that we want, the variables?
Electricity.
Okay, electricity, that's the first one. So electricity, you can see, wait, if you go to electricity, we have access to electricity, percentage of the total population, access to electricity, percentage of rural population, access to
Total
electricity,
population.
urban. Good. This depends on the type of your research or the focus of your research. Your research objective would depend on which of these variables you would need. So for the sake of what we are doing today, let's just check access to electricity, percentage of population.
Bosu pacho mayera kakra series no yeye denwo.
Okay, sorry. Mpacho, and now was is here.
Series.
What selected? Okay, what series? What?
Hey, makumia baby.
Adru Burundi.
Please, wait our time, so let's be able to get her on track.
Okay, you continue. Series.
Have you found series?
Yes, please.
So check the access to electricity, the percentage of population.
Okay, please let's continue.
Good. Let's say we want GDP data, right? So maybe we want to measure economic growth. And then one other thing is you also usually have to know which variable is usually used as a proxy for what. So in economics, as we know, usually we use GDP, which is the gross domestic product, okay, the total product of a particular country in a particular year to measure the economic growth. So let's say we want to use GDP database and want to use the GDP at constant, that is using 2020 as the base year. So we just click on the GDP. Let's follow suit. Go to G. Just click on the alphabet G to take you to GDP side, and then just check GDP at constant. GDP into bracket constant 2010 US dollars. And then also we see the LCU. The LCU means the local currency unit. So let's say you want to collect data about Ghana's GDP, but you need it in cedis. So the LCU is the local currency unit to give you in our GDP in our currency unit. But we want to, since we are collecting for different countries, let's go for US dollars.
Where are we?
The same series. We are the same series. Click G, alphabet G, and then go to GDP. We are having in mind that we want to measure economic growth, some variables on economic growth. Okay, so.
And you click 2010, and I say click current.
We have not gone to the years yet. Okay, I had click 2010 there. LC, you need a local currency unit. We are not using that one. We are using the 2010 US dollars.
Praise the Lord.
Please, are we on the same page?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's say we want to look at the government expenditure on education and its impact on economic growth, right? So we are going to look for data on government expenditure on education. Now, we keep searching and we find government expenditure, or we can just search here. I like to. Yeah, so this is government expenditure per student. No. Yeah, government military expenditure. No. Primary government expenditure.
In total government expenditure, is there?
Yes, we have. Yeah, so there's government expenditure on education total percentage of GDP. And this is what, when I was presenting, I made mention that usually, please, someone's background, can you mute the person? Good, so that's what I said. We can see that government expenditure on education total percentage of GDP. Right behind it or right beneath it, we see government expenditure on education, total percentage of government expenditure. This one is measuring government expenditure, the money that government spends on education as a percentage, which percentage of the overall GDP does the government invest in education. And this one, the next one is measuring how much of the overall government expenditure in that particular year went to education. I can select any of them. Usually I like to select all of them so that if there are a lot of missing data in one, I drop that one and use the other one. So we can check both of them. Are we on the same page?
No.
So where are you, please?
We are checking, friends, which a government expenditure per student in secondary school.
No, there is government expenditure on education.
Government expenditure.
Yeah,
Okay, on education total percentage,
yes.
government. Okay.
And then the next one is on education percentage of government expenditure. So just check the two. Because like I said, you are selecting the variables based on all the presentations that we have had today. You have to get the idea, your research focus, your research objective. Now, let's say we want to measure the effect of government expenditure on economic growth. So we have gotten our economic growth variable, which is the GDP, right? And then we are getting our main independent variable, which is the government expenditure on education. We also selected access to electricity. That can be our control variable to include in the research. So I think it's okay. If someone has another data he or she would want us to maybe try to look for in search to add, we can do that. If not, we can just proceed. So
on tourism.
On tourism. Okay, good. So you can just go to T or usually I like to search here.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Please, can I take us back just a little bit? Concerning the GDP, did we check the current or 2017?
No. The 20s, go to the GDP, right?
Yeah, the GDP.
No, check constant 2010.
Constant 2010.
Yeah, the one of the
but
2017. The 2017 is purchasing power parity.
Okay. So constant. What's the currency? Is it US or
US dollars? Yes, 2010 US dollars. The one that is represented by LCU is local currency unit. That's if you want to look at the GDP in the country's local currency. That's which one you will select. But we are dealing with a lot of countries who want uniformity. So let's select the US dollars.
Okay.
So somebody talked about tourism. So when you search for tourism, you have international tourism expenditures of tourism, percentage of total import. Maybe that's not what we want. We want the person that said we should look for tourism. Are we going to look for the number of arrival or which one? Or you want the money that we got from tourism?
The money you got from tourism.
So the money we got from tourism, right? Good. So over here we see international tourism receipts. So you can let's check that one. Then I think having checked it, let's click the drop down button for the series and then to fold back, and then let's go and select the number of years we want.
Please, international tourism receipts, USD, and I say total export.
No, international tourism receipt into brackets current US dollars. Okay, great. So when you finish, please just click the drop down arrow, let it fold back, and then let's look for the years. Now we can see that the available, which means that we have over about 61 years. There are 61 years data there. Okay, so I don't think we'll select all 61. We'll just select some of them. And it starts from 1960 to 2020. But the truth is you will not get 2020 data available. You would not get it. It will definitely be in 2021. So since we are doing this together, which years do you want us to look for? It should be more recent, please.
To 2019.
From where to 2019?
2017.
Oh, only 3 years. Okay, so 2017. Okay, let's look at 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. Good. Please start checking from 2015 to 2019. And then once you are done, just roll it back, click on the drop down, let it go back. And then you will see that after you have selected all the variables or, all the sections, now the apply changes will be highlighted for you to be able to click. You see that all these ones have been checked. Please, are we on the same page?
Yeah.
There.
So click on the apply changes. Good. So you can see this when, this is for Afghanistan, at least this is for Afghanistan, but all the countries we selected will come, don't worry. So at least it's giving you an overview that for Afghanistan, there's missing data here and here. Yeah. If you want to look at the countries individually, like just have a preview of them, you can just look at them before you download the overall data. So this is for South Africa. You can see that there's missing data here, access to electricity 2019, and then international tourism receipts. Yeah. Okay, so let's try to download this data in Excel file, right? So at your right-hand side, on the same page where we are, you can see the download options. If you have seen it, please click the drop down, and then you see the options that you can use in downloading the data. So you can use Excel, CSV. I usually download it through Excel, sorry. So are we on the same page, please? Hello, am I off?
You are. We are on the same page. Excel, yeah, me also did that.
Good. So, so it will download for you. You see it, say I download it on your computer. I hope you are there. You've seen, say I download it.
Oh yes, 2 times.
Good. So now, okay, so you can just open the Excel file. Let's try to, after this, Clement, Miss Lee, Ella, you show us what you did. And if any other person would also want to show us what he or she did, that will be great.
20 quiet.
Okay, so it's opening. Good. I have it here. So let me now try to share that, what I downloaded. You see data extracts from World Development Indicators. So are we here? Are we here, please? Are we here? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes.
So you see that this is the name of the country, or the country's name here. That's on the first column. The second column, you see the code of the country. That's what's the abbreviation that is usually used in representing the country. And then the indicators, that's the series you selected. They also have their own codes. Now, if you want to know what makes up a specific or a particular series, you can come down. You see data. Then the next session, or right after the data, right-hand side, you see series metadata. So let's just go and check something, right? Just click on series metadata. When you click on series metadata, this is what you see. Now, this is the indicator name. This is the definition. So now we see access to electricity. What did they use in measuring the access to electricity? What does it entail? So you can just click on the long definition. And when you click on the long definition, it will give you the explanation, right here. So as you are seeing, access to electricity is the percentage of population with access to electricity. And that's because we selected percentage of population. So it's looking at the whole population of the country, which of them are having access to electricity. So electrification data are collected from. So now after it has defined it for you, it tells you where the data was actually gleaned from, right? So this is it here. That applies to all the variables, When you come to GDP, it also shows you how they got GDP and all that. Right, so having done that, let's go back to the data session. Data. Now, we have talked about data harvesting. We have talked about data curation. Now, what we did is complete or clear example of data harvesting. We have harvested a data from a particular source. Now, let me be quick to also mention that the data that is at World Bank can also be referred to as a cured data to them, but not to you. When you collect it, you now have to come and cure it. Okay, so supposing we collected data from other sources, please, whose background? Supposing we collected data from other sources and we're coming to add up, that will be the integration aspect of curation. So after we have harvested this data could be your cocoa, right? You can harvest cocoa or whatever. So this is our data. Now, before you can be able to copy this data anywhere, do anything, just click on the enable editing first before. And then you come here. What I do usually is to create a new Excel file and then start arranging this. Okay, so I hope I can minimize this and create a new Excel file. Hope so. Okay, so just click Control N and a new Excel file will be opened. Please, are we on the same page, I guess? Okay, we want to try to cure the data, right? Are we on the same page, please?
Yes.
Okay, So you can
Yeah, new
see,
Excel, maybe a new Excel,
we can see my double Excel, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we are now coming to cure our data. So there are things that are needed. The year, the country name. Oh my God, someone's background. I hope the others are listening, actually. So the country name is needed, the years we used needed, and then the names of the variables are needed. So first, let's put country. You can key in country there. And then after the country, the next column, put ID, type ID there. The third column, you can put year. Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Good. And then let's come back to our data. I want to paste everything there. So come to the series, the C column where you collected the data. That's where the names of the variables are. So I'm selecting the data that we collected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same for all the countries because the same data you collected. So you can just select the first one, and then we are copying it to this new Excel file. So I just copy it. Please do copy yours too. And then you transpose paste here. In pasting, you use the transpose option, okay, so that it can be horizontally aligned for you. So you can right click it, and this is the transpose. This paste options 1, 2, 3, 4 is the transpose. So you click transpose, and this is the names of the variables. All right, so we have access to electricity here, we have GDP here, we have government expenditure on education, we have government expenditure. We had two variables. One is the percentage of total GDP, and then one is the percentage of government expenditure, the total government expenditure, and receipts from tourism. Now, usually what I do is that because these names, the variables name, or the original variable names are very long, I guess my time is up, right?
Yeah, long cry. Your time is up, long cry.
Honorable Chair, can I proceed? Or
Please, I
Yeah,
don't
since
hear.
the questions will be limited, maybe we can give you some 10 minutes to wind up. There will not be much
yeah,
questions, but you're
I think
answering
it's
the questions
important.
as you're answering the questions as you go along. So we will shrink the time for questioning. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Please, I
So,
don't hear transpose to be out.
Miss Lee, you said?
I've copied a thing, but when I try to paste it, it become vertical instead of being horizontal, right? Which one
Did
is?
you select transpose?
Where is the transpose now? I don't see anything.
Okay, good. I'm going back. Undo for me. Okay, so I have selected my data, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after the year, that's the D column. Just right click.
Yes.
And you see the paste options, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth of the paste options is transpose. This one.
Okay, you are using maybe 20 something. I'm using
There'll
20.
be difference. So when you are pasting, go to paste options. Those using the
okay.
old versions of
the old version, yeah.
We just go to paste options, then
just go to paste options. The options will come, and then you select transpose.
On the paste tab, you click that small triangle, and it will open up the options for you.
Triangle.
Are you done now?
You can go to paste special. Okay. Right, maybe paste special, then you can have access to the other options. On the tab, you see the paste option, the paste tab. But after this, you have to upgrade your software.
Your Excel.
Sure. Even the Microsoft edition. Otherwise, you'll be left behind.
Now, Dean, me be a new Excel. I'm a type of mau. Into me Excel and the idea that.
Please, is anyone else on the same page with me, or we are all having challenges?
I'm on the same page with you.
Good. So Clement, you can fix your Excel, okay? Since all right, so since we are on the same page now, let's enter the years that we selected. I remember we used 2015 to 2018, right? So just put in the years. I can key it manually. You should do same, please.
Clement, are you sure you've enabled editing? If you don't enable the edit, you have a challenge.
He said that also clicking for new Excel no
yeah, it's frozen, so you have to work on it.
Yeah, I think so.
I've enabled it. I think I've enabled it. I think the problem is when I opened it, it told me it had expired. So I need to do one or two other activities.
You will have to activate it, sure.
Yeah,
okay,
I have
so
to do one or two other activities. So I think you have to leave me.
Key in the years. We'll come back to the variable names, but key in the years to 2019. If you copy from here, you see this YY thing will come. So you can just key it like that. And then the next thing is for us to key in the names of the countries. We selected some countries, Afghanistan, South Africa, and whatever. So you can copy the names of the country from there. Now, but once you copy one and paste it, you can just, you can just drag it down to the end of the year 2019 as you entered. Good. Now, having done that, I hope we are on the same page. So having done that, the ID column, you come and key 1 and then drag it down to the end of the year where you have, okay? It's the same year, it's the same country. So this takes the ID number 1, the identity number 1. So do it that way. And then once again, we go and select our second country. You can just copy. Let me just copy mine and be pasting like yours. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I drag it 5 down. Yes. And then the next country, Bahamas, the same way. In the meantime, let's copy our countries. Let's follow up. You copy a country, you drag it down 5 because the years are 5. So make sure you drag it down 5 times. And Switzerland. Okay, Canada. Burundi. Yes. Good. So I have finished with my countries. I hope you are also done keying all the countries. You're on the same page with me. Right. So since Afghanistan took ID number 1, the IDs continue. South Africa will take ID number 2, Bahamas ID number 3, Switzerland ID number 4, Canada ID number 5, Burundi ID number 6. If your country selection was not in the same order, the ID should follow. Okay, the first country you put there should take ID number 1, second country should take ID number 2. So here I key into, scroll it down to the end of where South Africa is, where South Africa ends, ID number 3, to where Bahamas ends, ID number 4, to where Switzerland ends, ID number 5, to where Canada ends, ID number 6, to where Burundi ends. Good. So the years, since it's the same years you are dealing for other countries, it will be same for all the countries. So you can just copy the years and just paste them across. Good, so I'm done. And please, are we on the same page? Please, are we then?
Yes.
Hey, am I online? Should I
You are
wait for
online,
you?
no, but some of us, our Excel is not doing well, so we are just watching.
You are online.
Okay, thank you.
You're online.
Those of us whose Excel are working, are we on the same page?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Right, so the next thing I would just want us to touch on is the variable names. We can see that these names are too long, right? You know, going to put these long names in the software sometimes. So for me, usually I try to give it a shortcut name. And that one, you can give the abbreviations by yourself, right? So access to electricity, some people can just use AE. Some people can you can just give it any abbreviation that you think that you would like, right? So let me just use AE for me. And I will just remember in my mind, when I see it, I know that this is access to electricity. As for GDP, I can just leave it at GDP. So I'll take off the constant thing there. But for the sake of what we are doing today, let's use the same, abbreviations, then we can just remind ourselves. Now, we have government expenditure on education. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at GEE. All right, I would remind myself, but I think this was percentage of population. Percentage of GDP. Yeah, so I think I'm going to leave percentage of GDP in brackets, so I can just remind myself. Or maybe I can even leave only GDP in the brackets, only percentage, and I'll remember. The second one is also percentage, so let me just allow the GDP here. And GDP, okay. Then the same, this is also government expenditure, but percentage of government expenditure. So I'll just leave the same abbreviation GEE, but the brackets, I'm going to leave it GE, percentage of government expenditure, so that I will know the difference. And then international tourism, I can just use, like IT something. Just remind yourself. So please, are we on the same page? Let me wait a while. Shall we? Am I online?
We are watching.
Yeah, you should flow with me. Let me know if we should continue. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, Afghanistan, access to electricity data. So for me, I can copy for all the indicators for Afghanistan. Just copy it for all the years like this. And we can use the same transpose option. You can use the same transpose option. Yeah, so you can use the same transpose option. And in the same, is the same. You can see access to electricity, 2015, 71.5. The 2019 said that there was nothing, missing data. So this is it. All right, so we can do same for all the countries. Just copy and transpose. Good. So we are almost through. Yes. Now, this is usually what happens after you want to cure your data. You realize that for some countries, they have a lot of missing data in a lot of the variables, right? So when it happens like that, it will affect your final conclusion. So sometimes what I do is that after collecting all my data, these variables are really small, the years are small. So I found that these are important variables for me, because don't forget that the objective of this particular study is to look at for the impact of the government's expenditure on education, on economic growth, which is the GDP. So now you see that your main dependent variable has a lot of missing data. So if I was actually going to work with this, I was going to take out Bahamas because it didn't have my main dependent variable. And I was also going to take out Canada, right? Yes. And then one thing, let me say, Stata, for instance, I think Stata, even SPSS, I think these two I've used before. They do not accept this dot, okay? If it's a missing data, just take out the dot from there and leave it blank. If not, Stata will not accept it. If not, you would want to run the regression or whatever, and you will see errors and all that. So you just have to take time to take out all these dot thing. So you are still curing your data. Yeah, so I think, yeah, now we have been able to. Good, so this is this. Now, Stata can be able to accept this data. I don't know if data analysis is not part of my work for tonight. So let's say, yes, that's where we are. If not, I was going to put it in data for Stata for you to see, but this is it. Okay, so at least we've been able to collect data, harvest the data, we've been able to cure the data, arrange it nicely. Okay, these IDs are very, very important, very important, very important. So don't always forget it. And yes, and also with the missing values, if they are missing values, don't leave the dots, just take them out, let it be blank, okay? It depends on the work you are doing. Sometimes the software will consider the missing data as infinity or infinite variables and would run the regression or something. So that is that. And I think with where we went from the World Bank data, you can get a lot of data from there. If you're someone whose research focuses on institutions, political or governance institutions, there's the data there. That is I think world governance indicators. When you go there, you find those data. Those data. Okay, so that is that. And in the meantime, I will just rest here for any questions, if there are any. And then after the questions, 3 people that I called will try to share their screens. Let's see if we are able to follow through to get to this point.
My first question, Can you please share your WeChat ID?
Yes, please. I will share it through the chairman. I think if I don't share, chairman will beat me. So
The chairman, because I'm not the one recording. If he doesn't bring himself, I'll pause the video.
yes, please. The next question.
Hello, please. Mr. Kujo is waiting for our questions.
Yeah, satisfied.
Yeah, I
You're
think
satisfied.
we're on the same page.
Adnakoye hand done something, Tiama, we really appreciated it. But the point is, time and now, at Shadow, because of comedy, Mrs. here, also sending homework.
Yeah, sorry for the time, but I think it was worthwhile. At least we had to end it. Okay. And don't forget that don't forget that data curation also entails integration of data. So maybe you can see, say, for instance, this governance in the government expenditure data, we didn't get it here. It's possible that you get it from another source. Okay, so you can just use the one, transport the one from the other source and bring it here. But look at this. Don't come and combine this from the World Bank and another one from another source. If you want to use a data from another source for a particular indicator, do so for all the countries or for all your selected country. Let me put it that way. Don't mix it up. That is not the integration we are talking about. Okay, so if you feel that there are a lot of missing data here for the government expenditure on education, but you found it from another source where you have the complete data, make sure you bring it for all the countries, then you use that for your regression or for your empirical analysis. Please, I hope you understand me.
Yes.
All right, so I think, thank you so much for following suit. I don't know, for those of us, if you need the link for any of the data, I think social science, there are some people who are also working on the well-being and others. There are well-being indices, you can get the data and all that. So that is that. I want to thank you so much, Honorable Chair and the executives. I'm humbled and honored for being called upon to share. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Nkwana Kujo. I think we've learned a lot today. It's unfortunate, I got somewhere and I was stuck. So I was just following from you.
Please, I'm not done. Some people should, I think I pointed out that I need about 2 people. Please share with us your screen before we go. Very important, sorry. Let's see that we got people who got it right, who were able to pick up the thing for tonight. But that's our objective, not just to talk. We just want to see the impact. So please, let's get 2 people to do it for us. I think Martin, you follow through. You can share with that. Miss Lee can also share hers, right? And Governor as well. Yes, at least 2 people. Just help us. So please permit them to share their screen so that we can try to observe or see what they did.
Yeah. Please. I was also following, but it got stuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So during the transposing and the Excel and stuff like that.
Honorable Chair, well, I don't know if the others will permit. I could use 5 minutes to go back there so that we do it.
Yes, please, if you could.
But if they will permit me, I think I'm handicapped now. I need instruction from.
Please, can you take your host back? Because when you end the video, I cannot store it for you.
we
But
don't get you.
Yeah, I think that we have to work within time, and it's exactly 9 o'clock that we all agreed to use. So we will end it here, and I think for further information, you can get those who presented backstage, and they will assist you. For the rudiment in Excel, you just have to go back and learn some of the rudiments, especially pasting, dragging, and all that. Automatically formatting some of the cells. It's a skill you have to acquire. It's just not just a day. So if you have weak fundamentals in Excel, you also have challenge in this regard.
Please, before you end, let me just recommend this app a friend shared with me some time ago, Researcher. You can get it on your phone, on your computer, and it works similarly to Mendeley, but this is not Mendeley. This is not for, but this is where you can get a lot of papers. You can search for papers that you want, and type the title. It will just get the papers for you, and you can store the paper in the app for reference sake and all that. Not for referencing in the web, but to refer to it if you want to read it and all that. So I just decided to put it. I recommend it to all of us. Let's try to get it. It will help us. And thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And before I hand over, I'll just pass my last comment so that I will not.
Oh, excellent. Someone did it. Great, Gideon. Yeah. Great. But you have to take out the dot, please. The software packages will not accept the dot. If they are missing data, it's better to leave it blank, okay? Just take out the dot, and you are good to go. You did a great job. Great.
So we were expecting to do para sections today, but unfortunately, we had challenges with two of our resource persons because they had to attend to an immediate and urgent call. Otherwise, their staying here will be in jeopardy. So they asked for them to be excused, and then we did. So forgive us. And we will make sure that we will rectify that. The problem has to do with getting resource persons. It's not easy, given the limitation of time and even the COVID. So just forgive us sometimes when we have hiccups. We will make amends. And our next webinar will be on data analysis. And we make sure that we introduce one statistical package, either Arrow, either SPSS, either Stata or Python. Any of them would do. It depends on those who will be available to present. So let's all make sure that we put whatever we've learned into practice and read. The information that you're asking about contact and about all that is in the document that I've shared. So there's this saying that I'm trying to believe that if you want to hide something from us, just put it into writing and we will not read. So all that I've been sharing, the webinar guide contains all the contacts of the presenters or the resource persons. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, Dean, for the wonderful presentation. So without wasting much time, I would like to call my co-MC to give us the vote of thanks. Ella, please, if you're available, can you give us the vote of thanks?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time. And we are really grateful for those of you who have been able to stay from the beginning till now. We want to thank all the speakers. We want to say thank you, God bless you, and everything that you've lost due to imparting with us, we want to say God bless you. We thank you all for joining NUGS-Nanjing in this program, and we want to say that we hope that you have learned a lot. We hope that you, even if you have not learned as much, but as time goes, you learn more And we're sorry for all the inconveniences. We want to thank you for your presence here. We don't take it for granted. So see you next at the next webinar series. Thank you very much, Freddie.
Welcome, Madam Chair. Okay.
Okay.
Someone pray for us.
Thank you very much. Yes. Anybody touched by the Spirit can pray with us so we can
touched by the Spirit.
Yeah.
Miss Lee, please can you pray for us? Or Mr. Nkwana?
Okay, all right, let me pray. Thank you, our Father. We give you praise and all the glory. We have come this far not because of our knowledge, not because of who we are, not because of what we have, but it's all from you. For we live, move, and have our being for your sake and in you. I pray for everyone that was able to make it for tonight and even yesterday. I pray that, Lord, you grant them the retentive memory to hold all this information that they've received and that they'll be able to practicalize it in their research endeavors to arrive at the successful end that you have destined and designed for them. I thank you for their lives. I pray that as we disperse, we will not leave from your umbrella. You will keep us always protected and covered. I pray that may no harm befall us, oh God, even in our stay in China. I pray that everything that we seek to do, we shall be successful, that amongst our peers, if they are calling for success people, we shall be counted and we shall stand tall. For even when all men are saying there's a casting down, we shall arise and say that there's a lifting up. I thank you for the spirit of success you have given unto us. I thank you for the chairperson. I thank you for the academic committee. I thank you for the NUGS-Nanjing executive. I thank you for our visitors from different chapters and every person that's represented today, even from our own chapter, NUGS-Nanjing. Be exalted and be glorious in our lives. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen and amen.
Amen. And so on behalf of the executives and the academic committee, we'd like to say a very big thank you to everyone for partaking. And
because people are demanding for the recorded version, so maybe you and your technical team will have to put them together and then post them on the various platforms for people to.
All right.
I think once they end it, the system itself would try to generate it for them. It shouldn't be difficult to get it for the audience.
Yeah, Clement will work on that. So I'll go and see him and work on that and send it to you.
Clement, dear. Oh, how do you and to cry now we're excelling ye.
Oh, and can you say first Zoom via internet and can do internet I did yes and back, but when the internet not check and can come on.
Maybe Clement, anything on this voice I'm on a Chinese song.
Governor. Oh, governor. Oh, Miss and then I did a horse. I made that message. Later.
Chinese man. Chinese man.
All right. And yeah,
Dean, I'll contact you later. I'll fix the Excel right after this meeting, and then I'll contact you later. Please. Then we'll go through. I'll
you are not permitted.
I didn't ask of your permission. No. I don't need your permission. I'm calling you whether I like it or yes.
Okay, we'll see whether I also answer.
Any of phone and I'll call you normal call. I'll call you. You know me already, but you're just trying. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, but I'm going to I'm out.
Miss Lee, I think I should send you the freedom. It will help you get that data.
I'm very angry.
Hey, Mod, SCU, I salute you.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hey, I don't need anything. Hey, Senior fellas, I salute you. We just go. All right, comrades, have a good night.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Please, who is the host? Can the host take his host back and do how do you go? Or if I end it, he will still get the video.
Yes, I'm sure. I don't know, but you need to confirm first.